In the winter of 1985, Hawkins was covered in white snow, but in the forest of the town, the upside-down disinfection personnel, dressed in full protective suits, seemed to be being chased by something, and were frantically running for their lives. This was the most terrifying monster in the Upside Down, the Mind Flayer cub. The flamethrower opened, and the cub with its petal-shaped mouth was burned and sizzled, sticking to the wire. The first scene of the online novel was completely dead. He directly received his lunchbox, but he had already completed his mission. The fluorescent green bun route was not blocked by the barrier of the Upside Down, and drifted into the depths of the forest of Hawkins. Stranger Things fans are in luck. Stranger Things 1985 story collection has finally started airing. As soon as Mike went out, he met Lucas and Max, who had been waiting at the door. These two were also old partners. The three of them rode bicycles and rushed to Will's house. On the way, they kept calling Dustin on the walkie-talkie, afraid that this kid would lose face again. Our clever Dustin, as expected, messed up this time. Zhang Jianpao was playing Space Invaders at Greg's snack shop, almost breaking the record with his fingers, when game over at the last second. He was so angry, he almost broke the arcade joystick. Meanwhile, in VR, his brother Jonathan gave him a newly recorded cassette of the Slam Dunk Band before leaving. The core soul of physics is 11, a girl with otherworldly superpowers. At this time, 11 is being hidden in a small house on the street by Sheriff Hopper. To prevent his superpowers from being exposed, he can't even go to school like a normal child. His biggest hope every day is to see his friends and the spring break party he longs for. But the ironclad rules Hopper set for him are like shackles, binding him tightly. Hopper's worries are not unreasonable. After all, 11 almost lost his life in the last season to close the door. If the government finds out he is still alive, what awaits him is only endless experiments and pursuit. But unfortunately, the next plan of Mike's team just stepped on Hopper's red line. Dustin was already running late when he was ambushed by two school bullies on his way. One of them tried to steal his backpack, and he was incredibly foul-mouthed. Dustin snapped at them and ran off to class, the bullies chasing him like mad dogs. The one with the blonde hair, running too fast, tripped and fell in the snow. As soon as he got up, he felt something was wrong with his calf. It was tangled in a vine, and he couldn't get free. When Dustin emerged from the woods, he saw the two bullies' bicycles lying in a ditch by the roadside. Another long-haired school bully chased out of the forest, calling out the names of his classmates. But when he turned around, he saw a large snowdrift rushing towards him like a thunderclap, and he was so scared that his soul almost left his body. The team rode their bicycles and rushed forward. Did the old fans take action immediately? The famous scene in the first season, where several people searched for the missing Will in the dark, was simply right. They called the menu, but now they were going to Hawkins Middle School for morning cell study. The little devils didn't stop talking. They rode their bicycles and chatted about the opening of Zinting Shopping Mall. They were as noisy as a flock of sparrows. What kind of place is Zinting Shopping Mall? The old fan Dudu said that the place looked like a paradise for young people to eat, drink, and have fun. Underneath it was a secret laboratory of Russians. You are now looking forward to buying records and eating hot dogs. When it opens, you will cry. I will put it here. Just when the school bully was about to make a move, the punk sister appeared in time. This hair, mohawk hair, studded leather jacket, and face studs were shining. She came up and directly pushed the school bully aside. A few members of the school bully squad got together and planned how to have fun in the new semester. The Dragon Universe Dungeon Adventure team took Elle to the arcade for raw pizza, and when the Star Pavilion Mall opened, they would take him to see Hawkins. It was the most lively place. But ideals are often far from reality. The group emptied their pockets and couldn't even afford to buy a map or invest in snacks. The squad arrived at Rich Avenue, where the snow on every restaurant looked like money. All they had to do was use Elle's superpower to clear the snow, and they could clear a house in a minute, and the money would be there. Dustin, with his smooth talk, successfully landed his first deal. But just as 11 was about to activate his superpower, Mike suddenly remembered Chief Hawk's warning. The squad wasn't angry because Mike was a spoilsport. Everyone was in the mood to play and started a snowball fight in the snow. The commotion was so great that a snowplow drove up from a distance and stopped in front of them. An old man got out with a face uglier than a donkey's. "Ah, help! This was a sudden change of pace. The man and shovel were dragged into the snow by a mysterious force and vanished without a trace. Under Xiao 11's skillful control, the snowplow landed steadily on the ground. Everyone thought the crisis was over, but the unknown monster had its sights set on the chubby Dustin. Ultimately, Xiao 11 single-handedly saved the Grand Master. The children witnessed the entire city and were utterly terrified. The monster's movements in the snow were as agile as a shark in the sea, appearing and disappearing without a trace. But what truly chilled them was that Elmi had completely closed the door to the upside-down world. Where did this thing come from? Fear instantly swept over everyone. Their first reaction was to find Sheriff Holmes. But more than that, their first thought was to prevent Elmi from being exposed and to prevent the government from taking him away again. A group of children, averaging under 14 years old, made the bravest decision in the face of fear that would break even adults: to set a trap, capture the monster, and stop the disaster. Soon, a complete hunting plan was freshly drawn up, with clear division of responsibilities. Mike and Al were on the roof of the arcade, responsible for surveillance and lookout. Lucas and Max hid in the bushes on the west side to capture the prey and close the net. Will was on standby at the East Street corner, ready to launch an attack at any moment. And the most ruthless Dusty was to use a beef stick as bait in the middle of the empty parking lot, serving as a live target for the monster. But while everyone's attention was focused on UR, little did they know that this hunter from the upside-down world hadn't even noticed their trap. He had already silently bypassed everyone's movements and locked onto a target that was completely out of the plan: the new transfer student who had rescued UR on the first day of school.